Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever spent hours creating content? Maybe it's a YouTube video, a podcast episode, or that weekly email you're hoping will finally get some traction. And when you finally hit publish, you get views, maybe even a couple of comments. You get a handful of likes. But somehow, it still doesn't move the needle. No leads, no sales, no real growth in your business. It's frustrating, right? We've all been there. It looks like it's working on the surface, but underneath, it's not doing what content is supposed to do. And here's the truth. If your content isn't turning viewers into leads or customers, it's not doing its job. It might be helpful, it might even be binge-worthy, but if it's not moving people to take the next step with you, it's just noise. And I'm not saying that you need to be pushy or salesy. That's not what this is about. What this is about is building content that gives value and creates momentum. Content that builds trust, delivers a quick win, and moves people closer to buying or becoming a client or a customer of yours. Because listen, views, likes, shares, it's all surface level stuff. It's all vanity metrics. You're in business, and business content has one job to do: drive revenue. So today, I'm giving you the exact framework I use with my clients to help make sure that their content actually performs without needing to go viral or post nonstop. It's called the A.I.M Quick Win method. And once you learn it, you'll never create content the same way again, trust me. I've put the full A.I.M Quick Win framework into a free downloadable guide, and it's linked in the description below. You can print it out, keep it on your desk, and use it to structure your emails, your YouTube videos, your podcast episodes, whatever content you're creating. But it also includes a prompt template that you can fill out and copy and paste into your favorite AI tool, whether that be Claude or ChatGPT or whatever, to help you write your content with the right structure. Now, before we dive into it, here's what most people are never told about content marketing. The goal isn't to go viral. If you're a YouTuber, great, that's your goal. But for us business people, it's to get results. But what do most business owners focus on? They obsess over engagement. They spend hours tweaking captions and designing thumbnails and trying to crack the algorithm, all in a hope that this time they're going to blow up. But here's the kicker. Even when a piece of content does get views, even when it does get shared, it still doesn't translate into leads or customers or actual growth, because views don't pay the bills. Conversions do. And this is where most people are getting stuck. They're producing content that's valuable, but it doesn't actually move anyone to take action. And again, you've probably been told that your content should provide value, but nobody's ever explained what that really means or how to do it in a way that drives real business results. Because you can provide a ton of value in a way that drives results, makes people want to work with you, or you can provide value in a way that makes people think that they never need to work with you, that they'll get everything they ever need from your content, and there's no added benefit to actually working with you. But that's what this framework changes, okay? It shows you how to create content that's not just helpful, but also strategic. Content that gives your audience a quick win and a clear next step. That's the difference between content that educates and content that converts. And look, my videos are a perfect example of this. They don't get a ton of views. I'm not pulling in massive numbers or going viral. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I do get a steady stream of clients from them. And ultimately, that's the goal, right? I don't follow the typical YouTube growth strategies that you hear about. Why? Because I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. I'm building a business. I don't really care about watch time and how long they spend on the platform. Sure, I could switch up my content and do those things and chase views and watch time, but that wouldn't necessarily bring in more leads or clients. In fact, it would probably do the opposite. And I know a lot of online business owners in the same boat. You look at their channels and wonder, why are they spending so much time on YouTube when they only have a few hundred subscribers? But what you don't see is the back end of their business, the leads they're generating, the sales they're closing, all from content that's built to convert, not just attract attention. So the question is, how do you create content that still delivers value, but also gets people to take action? Not someday, not when they say they have time, but today, right now. That's where the A.I.M Quick Win method comes in. So A.I.M stands for Attention, Insight, Movement. It's the framework I use with all my clients, whether they're writing emails, recording a podcast, or filming a YouTube video, or even posting on social media. Every piece of content that you create should follow this flow. First, you grab their attention, then you deliver a powerful insight they can use immediately, and finally, you drive movement, a clear next step they can take right now. It's simple, it's fast, and it works like crazy because it's designed to meet people where they are and give them exactly what they need to move forward. You're not just giving them something to think about, You're giving them something they can act on today. And when your content does that consistently, it builds trust, it builds momentum, and yes, it builds your list and revenue. But here's the key. Every piece of content needs to revolve around one big idea, not 5 tips, not a random collection of thoughts, one central concept that actually matters to your audience. So let me break this down for you. So first, you need attention. This is your pattern interrupt. You can't just start with, hey guys, here's a quick tip. That's boring. That's what everyone else is doing. Instead, you need something that makes people stop and actually lean in around your big idea. Think about it like this. Imagine you're walking through a crowded marketplace and everyone's shouting to get attention. The person who gets the attention isn't the one shouting the loudest. It's the one saying something completely unexpected about something that actually matters. So instead of starting your content with something like, hey, here's a quick fitness tip, that's horrible. You'd say something instead like, you're wasting 80% of your workout and it's happening in the first 5 minutes. Do you see the difference? One makes people keep, moving on to the next thing, and the other makes them think, wait, what? Tell me more about this big idea. Okay. You can use a bold hook, a surprising stat, a controversial opinion, or even a personal story that relates to their pain point. But the key is to interrupt whatever pattern they were in and get them to pay attention to the rest of your content. Second, you deliver the insight. This is where you explain why your big idea matters. You're not giving them the how-to yet. You're building the case for why they should care about this concept in the first place. You're showing them where people go wrong, what the common mistakes are, because they'll likely see themselves making those same mistakes too, right? They'll see themselves in that. And why this big idea is the solution that they've been missing, right? When you can, connect with people by identifying the struggles that they're having, and they're like, yeah, that's me, that's me. And then you give them a solution, they're much more bought in. So let's stick with that fitness example, okay? After you've actually grabbed attention, your insight could sound like this. Here's why most people waste their workout. They think their workout starts when they pick up the first weight. Wrong. Your workout effectiveness is determined in those first 5 minutes, your warm up. Most people either skip it completely or do some half-hearted arm circles and call it good. The mistake is treating your warm up like a chore instead of like the foundation of your entire session. See, when your muscles are cold and your nervous system isn't activated, you're not just risking injury. You're literally unable to recruit the muscle fibers you need for strength and growth. It's like trying to drive your car while the engine is still cold. Sure, everything works, but it doesn't work optimally. So you notice what I did there? It didn't just give them the solution yet. I explained why this big idea, the 5-minute warm up, right, is the first step and why it's so critical. I showed them the common mistake and what it means to continue, what it's costing them to continue making that mistake. Finally, you create movement. This is where you give them the quick win, okay? Something actionable that they can do that delivers a result or solves an immediate problem. This should always be specific, doable today ideally, and directly connected to your big idea. So, continuing with our example, here's what you're going to do before your very next workout. Spend exactly 5 minutes doing this sequence. 30 seconds of light cardio to get your heart rate up, then 30 seconds of each arm circles, leg swings, body weight squats, and push-ups against the wall. Finish with 30 seconds of the exact movement pattern you're about to train. So if you're doing squats, do 10 bodyweight squats. If you're doing bench press, do 10 wall push-ups. This primes your nervous system for specific movements you're about to perform. Try this before your next workout and notice how much stronger and more connected you feel. Do you see the difference? This isn't just advice, it's a specific action plan they can execute today that will immediately improve their results. Here's what makes this so powerful. You're not just hoping people will eventually buy from you one day. You're systematically moving them closer to a purchase decision with every single piece of content. Okay, some people need one piece, some people are going to need 10, some people 50, some 100. But you have that available, okay? You're building trust by delivering value first and then showing them that there's a logical next step. And the beautiful part, you can use this exact structure for everything. YouTube videos, podcast episodes, your email newsletters, even your social media posts. Every piece of content becomes a strategic step in your sales process instead of just some random helpful tips floating around on the internet. So here's what I really want you to take away from this. Content that gets views is great, but content that gets results That's what's going to grow your business. And when you use the AIM Quick Win framework, you're not just showing up to be helpful. You're showing up with a purpose, to grab attention, to shift beliefs around a powerful big idea, to deliver a quick win that builds momentum, and to guide your audience to the next logical step. Because that's what good content should do. It should educate, it should build trust, and it should move people forward. And when you do that consistently, that's when you start seeing your content turn into leads, clients, and real growth in your business. And if you found this valuable, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications because every week I'm sharing conversion-focused strategies and frameworks just like this to help you turn more of your traffic into paying customers. Both links are in the description. Now stop guessing, start converting.